Welcome everyone to Calling the Audible, the official Division A and B podcast, where hopefully we have sound. I apologize to the patrons of the Division B and C podcast last week who were burdened with having to listen to some of an out-of-phase recorded podcast from Eagle's laptop rather than our microphones.
Totally my fault.
It's all right. It happens, man. It happens. We all have bad days.
Chapman wouldn't have done that.
That's true.
He would have definitely done that.
He would have called you.
And then he would have called me asking why isn't the audio working.
What's happening with the audio?
He didn't plug in the microphones once, and he called me. Do you realize that? He would have definitely done this.
Something that Vinny G would do.
Yeah, so Vinny, if you were looking to lower your headset volume, you just turn the knob that says volume. It's not that hard to locate. It's
non-existent.
I don't want you to touch things. Just don't touch things, please. Just please don't.
I love that. I love that the show.
I can't even hear anything now. Like stop.
No, but
Yours. There's no volume button here.
What's this one? What does this do?
Can you do some producing?
Yeah,
The more I touch it, the louder it gets.
I know that. I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
That's what's supposed to happen. It's
Are
a
we able
volume
to hear
knob.
each other? Because I can't hear myself. I can't hear.
I am Peeze Delarice. I'm your host for Calling the Audible. Thank you for joining our anarchy. You can follow me, of course, at Peeze FPF and communicate with me via Facebook, where I am Peeze Delarice. I'm joined by Marco Masiotra, who can be followed at
Mashotra22 or at Tiger CSG. We'll plug.
You can't follow me.
you cannot follow Vince Ardone.
Wow.
Or Vinny Galano.
You can't follow
My hands
Vinny,
are bigger.
but- You can't
That's true.
follow
Hands are
Vinny, but
bigger.
he definitely follows you when you're running routes on him. So.
That's true. From behind.
Yes.
And of course, we are joined with our producer this week. It is the Eagle at Master Control. He is subbing for Chapman, who is where?
I think he couldn't get off his shift or something. I don't know.
The janitor.
Yeah, he. I had another joke about getting off one shift, but I'm gonna let it go because it's gonna get inappropriate quickly. So, I guess we're getting ready for the show. Vinny referred to himself as Bronze.
Yeah.
Oh, bronze and not brain, not brawn.
Bronze.
Which
Although-
it further proves my point
I'm
about
all
not
bronze.
brains.
I'm all bronze, not brains.
I mean,
guys.
yeah, as we get later into the summer season, I would imagine we're all a little bit more bronze. But we will get into a segment that we have never prepared, never done before, where we sent Eagle a bunch of headlines. Most of them FPF related, some of them not FPF related. I will read them. Actually, I'll tease them now, and then we'll get into recaps, and then Eagle will make his selections, and we'll talk about them in a timed segment. We're going to try and go through as many of them as possible, and whatever we don't get to will be lost forever, and we'll maybe throw some new ones together next week. So this week's news and other lies are Top Hats and Think Caps, Thunderdome, FPF Bromance, Balls Busted, First Encounters, Sky Chicken and the World of Tomorrow, and Friend Zone. Eagle, so get ready with those selections later. For now, however, I want to talk about the quarterback who is on pace. The one quarterback on pace to throw 50 touchdowns in Division A.
That's wild.
52 to be exact.
It isn't the gentleman to my left.
It is
No.
not.
It is not Marco Masiotra. It is not Kevin Wyatt.
It
It is
not.
Ryan Kastner. The Rainmakers, however, take an L to Top Guns. Is this a little bit of Rainmakers crashing down back down to earth?
Well, I just think Top Guns are playing really, really well right now. Like, I didn't expect Rainmakers to win this game, even if they played as well as they could. I think Top Guns are in their moment right now. And like I said, if Paul's throwing the ball and not Robbie, they have a good chance to win.
And I mean, evidently, Vinny took that information back to his huddle because Robbie Robinson, no pass attempts.
I just want to clarify something. I don't know why he has a reception here. Robbie Robson did have a couple completions. He wasn't wearing a jersey number. I don't know why he has stats and not quarterback stats, but he did have 2 completions.
So
Just
he
we're
actually
clear.
threw the ball.
He actually
again?
threw the ball and Jamil Springer actually.
All right, so
Okay.
So you guys are wrong.
No,
my
not
question
wrong.
is
Was it a
now
touchdown?
pointless.
Was it a touchdown that he threw?
It was like a 12, 13-yard gain.
Sounds like a waste of time
Yeah.
because you know what Paul Pierre did this game. He threw touchdowns.
He threw
6
6.
of them in this game.
He did.
Threw
Paul
6.
Pierre is unbelievable this season.
Yeah, he's having. I mean, not on pace for 50.
Not on
but
pace
that
for
said,
50.
Paul Pierre's never been a guy
But that's not
who
no,
can realistically
exactly.
expect to throw 50. But man, he's on fire this season.
I don't think Paul. When was the last time Paul threw 50?
If you count his reception, like receiving touchdowns, he'll have 50 touchdowns at the end of the year.
I can't stand you.
You said he's going to get 50 touchdowns in Division A this year.
He could
Combined.
throw 50.
Excuse me, if you run 2 and throw 48, you have 50 touchdowns as a
Why
quarterback.
don't you just not run and throw?
You counted for 50 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's going to count for 50 touchdowns this season.
Okay, whatever, man.
Yo, man, Paul Pierre.
Next.
So, but can we expect the Ryan Castner play to drop a little as Rainmakers?
I don't think his play is going to drop in terms of throwing TDs. I think that maybe the interceptions will maybe spike up a bit as the season goes on, and as he gets ready to go on his marriage little trips there, go down marriage lane.
His life's ruined.
Marriage
Yeah.
little trips.
Marriage little
Why
trips.
don't you stay over there and stop and put the mic down? Let the big boys talk.
Well, playing
Size
against.
joke.
That's just mean. I'm so glad it wasn't directed towards me.
Well, Vinny is bronze, you know.
It's true. They're all bronze.
Playing Ryan Castner, this guy's money. Like we had a.
Can we hit him with the robot sound, please?
This is so fucking loud.
That was terrible, dude.
But Ryan Castner, honestly, like Von Damme,
Thank you.
Yeah.
my boy Von Damme had an insane pick where he shot a play in the red zone for a pick six.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, Castner was unbelievable today against us.
Hey, but Castner's been susceptible to that too in the past, where
Yeah.
he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he reads quickly, and the ball gets the ball out quickly. But sometimes guys who know that will sit and jump that route.
We'll sit on the slants and they'll take it because he'll throw it. He'll be expecting it, right? So he'll throw it still, and he'll just hope his guys get a body on it and make the play. But
That's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
The result expected was that the A's Finest would beat Monstars. They did 40-19.
Yeah.
Expected, despite the fact that Monstars have been playing on another level this season. However, Monstars showed up without Rod Masters at quarterback. They showed up with future MVP, future Hall of Famer Joey Taylor at quarterback.
Yeah.
That's another story for later.
Yeah,
They showed up
relax.
with
Joey's
take
better-
it easy.
they showed up with
Joey's better
future
than Dan.
fine future Hall of Famer Dan Lazara. But do you think perhaps Dan Lazara was first of all rusty, and do you think he was perhaps just the worst possible quarterback to fill in
Yeah.
for Rob Masters, given the completely
No,
different style
that-
of quarterback?
You nailed it. He's literally
I'm known for nailing.
the worst guy to play for the Monstars. Rod runs around like we spoke about last week. He runs around, gets time for his guys to get open, whereas Dan's very quick hitter, and that's not normally what they're good at.
And not how the roster's built either.
Yeah, and on top of it, that Rod wasn't there. The Finest were coming off a loss where they scored 0 points in the first half, and it was just a nightmare matchup for the Monstars going into this game. And then without Rod, they had no shot.
Dan Lazare wasn't rusty. This is true Division 2 finals form for him.
Okay. So he hasn't lost a step.
But they lose Rod Mastouge, like you just said, on defense. That's their top defender right there. So right there, you're not
I mean,
you're
as
not
bad
gonna stop the
as-
Finest with Rod, let alone without him.
And the thing is also you lose Rod on defense, and again you have a guy who's not playing your system, and then you're putting more pressure on your defense because the defense is not there all the time because he's throwing interceptions and whatnot.
I don't know why they didn't put Fred quarterback that game. He has chemistry with all these guys playing with 6+R in the past.
Yeah, that's true. And he's
Majority.
on fire in Div B. He's
Exactly.
killing it.
So why not just give him a chance? Why bring in somebody who has no chemistry?
They probably
who's not
want to keep the
comfortable?
receiver core how it is. They've been doing well. But
his 3 catches for 22 yards must have been a difference maker instead of putting him.
I don't know, man. You get 2 catches for 12 yards and it works. So,
Two touchdowns. I'll take
so
it.
then
He's going for that end of season award.
Guys, I know who A. Dane Soro is. The guy who played for Finest week 1 and week 2.
Who is it?
And now it's an old story because I don't know if he's still in the team. Although at the time it did seem as though he was a permanent addition.
It was week 2 we were talking about.
Yeah, his name. But then I missed the podcast and then I forgot last week because I'm old.
That's fair.
It's a player by the name of Antoine Dansereau Leclerc, from Division 6 and Division 5B. The guy is actually
He's so
absolutely a monster. Him and his brother are 2 great athletes, and it just goes to show you that a lot of times we know the guys from the high divisions, but there is talent sprinkled across FPF.
Yeah.
that we just don't know the names.
We know exactly.
And just because the whole team is not Division A or Division 1 caliber,
Yeah.
there are guys out
of
there
course,
that are
of
1 and
course.
2
And
caliber.
I think this guy was a recruit from Harrington. I think he might be going to
Yes,
Concordia or something.
exactly,
So they
which is
bring
how
him
he
out.
knows him.
So yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's he's good though. He torched us in our first game against them.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns that game.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the thing, and especially it kind of sneaks up on you too, when you know all the faces on the Finest, and then you're like, okay, well,
Who's this
we're
guy?
gonna not pay that much
Yeah.
attention to this guy because who's this guy?
You don't know what to expect when you see him. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that ties into my next question: is Harrington, Pat Jerome, Keyshawn Thompson, Pat Chenard. So these guys, Thompson and Chenard, interception each. Harrington 3 TDs, Pat Jerome 2 TDs. Can we just expect that it's always going to be the same names for the Finest
No.
making the plays?
What do you mean no?
No, Kevin White, but on offense especially, Kevin White just picks apart teams based on matchups.
Yeah.
Kevin Moore, look at Kevin Moore. Did he even play this game?
Yeah, it's right there. But
2 for
what do you
19.
mean no?
The last week he had 10 catches.
Okay,
Kevin Moore.
but what do you mean no?
Well, like
you just say no. Like
No,
there's
as
still
in-
always the same guys that are
Yes,
playing that
but-
are always going to eat.
But he specified Pat Jerome, Mike
No,
Harrington.
but I'm saying like
dominating
it
this
just
week.
it always seems like on either side of the ball, it's always the same 2 or 3 guys there, and on
Okay.
the other side of the ball, it's always it's like
Well, then yes, because they always have the same lineup on
Yeah.
offense and on defense. So
Yeah,
yes, you
so-
could
so I
expect
mean-
the same team players to make the
So
plays.
basically, the answer was yes.
yes,
Okay.
that's it. That's all I want you to do.
I think we're specifying the 2 guys who produced this week.
No,
not
he's,
necessarily these guys.
Kev's always going to go at matchups, but his like look, Jerome and Aked are his 1-2, right? And
Yeah.
probably Aked 1 and Jerome 2, and then Harrington he stretches the field, so he's going to go with what matchup makes sense, and he's got Kareem for his little bailouts.
Keyshawn
So-
too can take over a game sometimes.
Really quick, we're going to touch on Rare Bears beating Braves 27-6. Marco said he wasn't impressed by the Braves as impressed as the rest of us after the midnight tournament. Is there something he sees that we don't? And I kind of speak about him like he's not in the room for Vinny, but also Marco, is there something you see?
I'll let Vinny talk first, and then I'll give my 2 cents on it.
I think the
There's no thinking on this show.
Rare Bears have the athletes to match up with the size and speed of Braves, so they have the perfect matchup for them. So, and you have Jamil Giddens rushing, Jonathan Mayer, guy has no time. So I think they are the ideal matchup. Because, like I said, they're too athletic for their own good, but on defense, they're as athletic as Braves, and they can match up perfectly.
Okay, can I tell you guys something?
How
Can I
much
be
you hate the
honest?
Braves? Yeah,
No,
go
no,
on.
I don't hate the Braves at all. There was zero beef going on. The game was just what it was. After last week, when everyone was saying, "Why are you guys going deep? Why are you guys going deep?" I literally ran the same play the whole game. Not once did they make an adjustment. For a Div A team to not make one single adjustment the whole game, I could have almost, besides for a couple like drops and a couple balls that I threw down because their coverage was there on a couple, I could have almost went 22 of 24. Like they didn't make one single coverage adjustment, and on defense we didn't change one time until the red zone, and the only score they had was the first play of the game bomb where we were rushing onto the field.
And I mean, I think it partially plays into Vinny's point though, is because you have the athletes, the Braves a lot of times will win just based on the fact that sheer athleticism, and they can't do that
No.
against you guys, so they're going to have to learn absolutely make those adjustments.
On defense, they'll play tight and they'll be physical. You'll go over top. If they play off, you'll go underneath.
Well, I took what you guys were saying and I made it a point.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not take one deep shot the whole game. I only got 5 possessions the whole game, just to show you guys. I did not go deep once.
was the
Which
thing we
shows
knew he was going to say.
The only way Marco's going to win is if he actually plays smart football and not throws deep balls.
It was just annoying.
How there's no thinking on this show.
It was annoying going short, but just all this to say,
Hey, you got to win how you win.
watching their defense, okay, and I hope they're just doing that like a vanilla defense, waiting for the end of the year or whatever, get ready. But they didn't make one. All I had to do was look someone off, and they were shooting zones the whole time. If I looked one way, they all crashed on it, go the other way. They didn't do a single thing to like disrupt a
See,
play.
I'm surprised with that, especially like playing the way I play when I play against them, and I would roll on whatever they were disciplined.
Yeah, but you roll out, you're cutting the field so small.
So you guys don't know what the word quickly means. It's not Division B.
all this to say that I wasn't impressed as everyone else was. That's it.
In Division B, a guy who's been impressing was less impressive as Simon Dagenet's lightweight lost to six fast guys minus Ryan in a 50-26 game of the week, which turned out to be perhaps one of the worst games of the week. The game started with a pick six from Simon Dagenet, and there was 2 in that game for Anthony Crackwood Brisebois. Are you guys surprised that Fred Veen did what he wanted to?
No.
Only 2 incompletions against a lightweight defense that isn't altogether awful.
No, it's
the best part of the team.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Their defense isn't bad, but I'm not surprised. Fred's been playing awesome all year. He's been playing great.
Unbelievable.
You know, and I think the only reason why last week against was it against us where he wasn't that great in the second half is because we really pressed up against his guys and make them get separation. If you're just gonna sit in zone, he's gonna pick you apart.
Yeah. Fred James
There's no point.
A slant in, hooks, short route kind of guy. If you step up and you have athletes who can run with his guys, then that's the only way you're going to get in his head.
Yeah, and when Simon's throwing ducks on the other side or trying to rocket launch them for 40, and he's turning the ball over. I mean, it's the game's over.
I actually spoke to Simon about this game, and he was telling me he was abusing the right side. He had Van Damme and Nadeau Peeze that side, and he was driving the field with them. And then he would I feel like spraying the ball. I feel bad. Go left, throw a pick six to Brisebois. Happened twice like that.
But he had 17 incompletions.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he told me. Okay, I'm just going with what he said.
I mean, Simo's account of games. I mean, we'll see it when the game of the week comes out anyway, and then we'll make fun of him when he's wrong. Are you? The other thing too is Simo Dajni not playing a style that fits with his roster, given that they have a strong defense with Francois Hogue and Francois Raymond. Like just taking all these shots and then having to have your defense on the field as long as they are.
Well, I mean, Simo, it's always kind of been like, I'm going to take shots because he normally does have some good receivers around him, right? And you look at his team. You got Vinny's boyfriend, you got Nadeau Peuse, and you got Frank Raymond. They're all really good receivers, right? So he should be able to do what he wants in Division B. That being said, he can't be throwing 3 picks, 2 for 6. Really puts your team behind.
Joey Taylor sub for Broccasion. They lose 50-32 to STL. Joey Taylor altogether not awful, but is the total amount of possessions in this game surprising given Joey Taylor football? Given the fact that every play goes for 4 yards.
Yeah, this is a bit weird. And on another thing that's really weird is Dylan shooting 2 picks. Like, I don't know what's been going on with him, but I think he's got.
He's
7.
not been good.
That's not weird for Dylan. He always had.
But he's the best quarterback in this division.
He is. He is the best, but he just makes stupid decisions sometimes. He has the athletes that he should literally probably go 80%, 90% every game, and he'll throw 2 to 3 picks. If they lose a game, it will be because of him. It will not be because of any of their
blowing
players.
Up. You're right.
That's the thing with Dylan. That's his blueprint. He will be the best quarterback, and then he'll make that 1 or 2 stupid mistakes that will cost you your team. He's just lucky that he has the athletes on defense that are going to completely bail him out every time.
Yeah.
Jamil Greenidge finally had a true impact for STL. 4 catches, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns. So good to see that. And Sammy Feeder for the Coyotes in their game, having an impact and bringing in what we talked about as a true number 1 receiver this week in Ryan Lilanowski as the Coyotes beat KGP 34-33. And Sammy Feeder was really, really efficient. 22 for 33. Nice, solid game. Now, we see that they looked much better, obviously, as we said, with Lilanowski being the 1, Josh Feeder kind of taking the role as the number 2. Is this what they need to do for success, as we talked about last week, or is this just a product of having faced KGP, or are they truly ready to make the turn?
No, the fact that Ryan went for 106 yards and they only beat KGP by 1 point kind of still makes me nervous. This guy needs to be your number 1. He hasn't been all year except for this last game. That's why they have not been good.
But maybe that's it. Maybe that's him learning, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, or is it just, again, that's KGP?
But still, to only win by 1 point.
Yeah.
That's been KGP's blueprint, man. They lose by 1-2 points every week. They need to learn to close out games, KGP.
But look, like on the other side, like James Crow had 112, right? He had 112 yards. So, I mean,
his first game he blew up finally.
KGP is not that bad, but Coyotes still, I think with their team, they should be kind of pulling away from teams. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing Federer throw so many interceptions. Every back-to-back weeks, 2 picks. He's not used to that.
No, it's definitely, but it's also not his core guys, right? So it's an adjustment period for sure. Team adjusting is the Incredibles. They have Liam Mahoney throwing in place of Greg Stern now 2 weeks in a row. The Incredibles win this one 32-27. Liam Mahoney 5 TDs, 219 yards. Was he just shaking off the rust first week?
Yes. Yeah.
No. I was there for a good portion of the game. It was happening at the same time as mine. So when I was not playing defense, which is all the time, I was watching that game, and it was fun to see it, and it looked different. It looked more refined.
Still a little inefficient with 15 incompletions, but I'd take Liam over Stern any day.
I was watching that game and 15 incompletions maybe, but he had a lot of drops. Yeah. He had at least, I watched maybe 2 drives, and I think I saw about 6 drops in the end zone by Bertoli, Papic, like his key guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
But that said, Chris Miard...
Liam also throws a ball a lot different than Stern, so it's what they're used to,
Yeah, it's possible.
Chris Miard is a truly dynamic player, despite the credentials that we see, for example, with Vince Nardone and Papic. I believe he should be the true number 1 on the team. Am I alone in believing this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're alone. I still think maybe ahead of Vince, but I still think that Papic is by far their number 1, especially red zone. I think Chris can maybe stretch the field a lot more, but red zone.
But he does. There was even there was a play where it was like a 7-yard in, and he caught it with a guy on his hip and just hit like another gear.
Yeah.
And he just can be so dangerous in so many different facets.
No, I agree that those types of players are special, but you can't always count on that. That's what I mean. So
I agree with you. Chris Millard is a game breaker. He could be a number one guy in the future. He's still kind of new to FPF in the higher divisions. Papic is by far the most refined receiver on this team.
But then are we just doing the thing where again we just assume that guys from lower divisions are
if you're gonna go, like, you need one play for like 8 yards and you have to go to someone, like, you're gonna go to Papic over him, because you, like, whether or not he had 128 or whatever, Papic is that guy that has always been consistent. So
that's fair.
I played Chris Millar like 3-4 times at least, and I know the way a receiver he is. He's getting better the more he's playing, but Papic is just that reliable guy, whereas he will have a couple drops that he shouldn't have, Chris.
Well, that's fair. That brings us to our next segment, News and Other Lies. Eagle, have you had time to think about which topics you want us to cover?
I have had time. That doesn't mean I necessarily picked topics.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ, what's Chapman?
Actually, let's start with the first topic here. So I've decided to go with first encounters as a topic.
First encounters.
Yeah.
All right, that's
like
Marco's topic.
So at first, I wanted to ask Vin if he remembers his first kiss. If you remember,
I do remember my first kiss.
So do I, Vince.
Did the guy have a goatee or a beard? Or?
Actually, funny story. I missed on my first kiss and kissed the cheek right here, right on the side of the. If you can't see, if who's listening to the podcast, I kissed the little crevice on the lip.
So what I really want to talk about, this is not FPF related, right? Because this was
some of these topics are FPF related, some aren't. Eagle doesn't know necessarily based on the title.
So I'm not from Saint Leonard. All this is being done in Saint Leonard, and anyone that's watching, you could tweet in. But I'm wondering, anyone that's not from here, what their experience was the first time they've been to Milano's.
Very out of place.
Because the first time I showed up there and I went and ordered a sandwich, everyone gave me one of what the fuck is this guy over here? So I just wanted to see if the feeling was mutual. What do you think? Your first time you went to Milano's?
I felt very white Canadian.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I grew up in the east end of Montreal, but I don't entirely fit in either. So, I mean, the first time I actually went was only after an FPF game.
Yeah.
After living in the East End my entire life. And it was fairly similar. And it was weird because, like, it used to be like a club on Saturday nights under the place. And there was all, like, these, like, 16-year-old kids coming up at the same time and giving me, like stink eye. And I was like, I literally will smash your face with my palm.
That's it. You walk in and everyone's just, like, looking at you. And I don't know why. It's really weird.
Eeks?
First time I went, my high school buddy was working the kitchen, so I got a free sandwich.
It's not bad.
God damn it.
It's a boring story.
Yeah.
I know. We almost got to fights.
Yeah.
I think the three of us were there at the same time. We're getting to a fight.
I'm ordering a sandwich, and it's like, why are you ordering a sandwich? Go somewhere else.
You don't belong here.
Yeah.
We don't like your kind.
Anyways.
Eagle next.
Then for the next one,
by the way, you can tweet us your first encounters of any type.
Tweet us in.
At Eagle FPF.
Yeah.
I like the top hats and think caps topic as well.
This is my topic. It's actually an FPF related topic, and it's something we talked about in the driveway after the show last week for about an hour. So we don't have an hour, we have like 2 minutes. So we were talking about how the FPF quarterback cap has actually limited teams in the higher division. Guys, do you have a quick remedy for this? Vinny, I know you were very passionate about the topic.
Vinny was very passionate about it.
Why do you think it's ruined the higher divisions?
Because a lot of teams cannot build the quarterbacks who are going up on the cap cannot compete with. They cannot build a team with athletes who can compete with Division 1 and 2 teams. So, for example, myself, I was in Division 2. Now I'd be forced to play in Division A. But my top 2 receivers, Van Damme and Giddens, already have teams. So I lose my top 2 guys. How am I supposed to replace them? You can't replace them. So then, yes, I believe that I could maybe still score 4 to 5 touchdowns like Marco would do on a regular basis. But I still believe I can score 4 to 5 touchdowns. But my defense is going to score 40-yard bombs every single play they'll get scored on, because you cannot build. You cannot find athletes. You can't find them out of nowhere.
You know what? And I kind of agree with Vinny in this case, which is weird.
About your 4 to 5 touchdowns a game.
No, it does limit the amount of teams that you can. It does limit the amount of teams that you can have in Division A.
Okay, so now the thing is, a lot of times we think of these rules because of the top end of FPF, but the reality is a lot of them are instituted for the bulk of the league, which is the lower division. And the quarterback cap specifically was to target an issue in Division 5 and 6, where essentially like quarterbacks will win the games alone.
Yeah, no.
Because the other quarterbacks don't have the ability to score 6-7 times a game.
A quick rebuttal. I know this can be quick, but if you have a quarterback rated 85, think about any team in Division 5 or 6. You have a 85 player, everybody
Well, because
else has
it doesn't even take like the guy who dominated Division 6 or Division E at the time was Guatmas Swadaminham, who you've likely never heard of, quarterback of X-Men. He's
Oh, yeah, I actually
maybe
don't know him, yeah.
a 70 rated quarterback, but he was torching teams because by comparison to Division E.
Yeah, but
I think Sammy Feeder did it too.
Sammy Feeder did it too. And so like.
But look at him now.
So-
Like his players who were dominating because they had no rating at the time, they also went up, and he cannot build a team.
Right, but these were players, I mean, specifically to Peace's example, that went up and then subbed for a team and killed in the lower division.
I get what where you guys are coming from. I get it that it pushes everyone up into the division.
James Floriani was quarterbacking Division 6.
No.
You know
Look,
what I mean? Like
you're right, but there's always going to be, like, you guys are right, but then there's always going to be something that is affected by that, right? And it's the teams that, like Vinny said, like, he's obviously not good enough to have a team, right? Vinny's not good enough, but if he wanted to try, he needed to have the rest of his guys, right?
If I had Marco's team, I can finally compete in Division A.
Yeah. Well, so then would it be possible, and this is kind of post Eagle as well, to have like a 2-tier rule where, let's say, Divisions 1, 2, and 3 don't have a quarterback cap, and Divisions 4, 5, and 6 have a quarterback cap?
Yeah,
Because
because it's policy more than anything else.
Yeah.
But even then, if you look at the Division 3 versus Division 2 or C versus B, there's a large difference.
Well,
in talent
what you
there.
don't
Yes.
want is guys like me, Kevin, Dan throwing in 3. I think that would.
Yeah, but if you
But
make
would
the,
you,
if you make
Kevin,
the
or Dan
actual
want
cap,
no, but that's the thing.
but
That's-
if you,
Vinny
but you
has a good
also,
point.
if you also make the total cap more stringent, then
Yeah.
man, bringing in Marco to throw, who's he throwing to?
Exactly.
Well, and that was a big thing. We tried, and we still kind of have it to a large degree. We have a open-ended cap to a large degree, just so you can't stack your team too much. But imagine if that was 10 points lower, what would happen to some teams?
Yeah.
But just
But it would also force guys like then it would force guys off teams. Like it would force, for example, the whole Pat Jerome thing a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Well, but then Pat Jerome is now available to play with Vinny. You know what I mean? So it does make things a little bit more interesting that way.
Yeah.
look, if you don't have a QB cap, look at ONS. They had Kevin White. They were still allowing like 50 points a game, and
But
every game
still go 9-1 every season or 8-2.
No, because they get scored on.
they get scored on. Yeah, exactly. They have to win on converts. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if your quarterback is at a certain rating. You're not gonna be able to, even as good as he is, you're not gonna win games just because of him.
Yeah.
Because you
Feel
don't have the
free to-
players who can catch the ball or the defenders who are gonna stop teams.
Feel free to join the conversation by tweeting Eagle at EagleFPF. Then we have for the last topic, Thunderdome, FPF romances, balls busted, Sky Chicken in the World of Tomorrow, or Friend Zone.
I was tempted to go with Friend Zone, but I'm going to go with Sky Chicken and the World of Tomorrow.
All right, so this is my topic, obviously. So the thing is, this is not football related, not FPF related.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty obvious from my title, but I guess it could have been because it could be anything. Every year, KFC around this time of year has a sort of like ridiculous sales promo.
Spoiler, I had it last week, actually.
Nice.
It
Alright.
was delicious.
It's the Zinger sandwich this year is the thing they're trying to promote. Last year, what they did was they had fried chicken scented suntan lotion. So basically, you
Sounds
smell like
disgusting.
cooking chicken. I don't know who would buy that,
That's
but it was
awful.
like it was their huge summer like promo thing. Now this year they're sending a Zinger sandwich to space, which made me think of like if you're like a poor person in like Africa or India and you're like already like people in the West are literally shitting in your drinking water. Now they're sending food to space.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm also kind of interested to see like are they going to live stream this? Or,
Yeah.
because I kind of want to see a chicken
What's
sandwich
the-
to
That would
space.
be
What's
cool.
the point of it though? I don't get it.
Why
To
not?
just create buzz so you go have a sandwich.
Yeah.
Red Bull had a guy fall out of space and land on the Earth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly.
But
That's exciting though. Watching someone fall from space.
And
You're
what?
shooting-
And eating a chicken
Fry-
suntan lotion sandwich in space is not cool.
But are you eating or just putting a fried chicken
What
in
if
space?
he's
It's
afraid
actually-
of the sun? He's closer to the sun. He's probably rubbing it all over
Can you
himself.
stop yelling? My mic is really loud.
It's also that it's going to space and coming back. So now I'm curious. Like,
Coming out the other way.
can you eat it? Like after, like, is it like, is there too much radiation? Like, there's so many questions.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's tastier because now it has space
Also,
odor.
they're sending in a balloon. You can send a balloon to space. That's a thing.
Yeah, it's a weather balloon.
Yeah, and it's coming back actually with telematic data as well. So
Cool.
it's not completely a waste of time.
This is a very digital sandwich.
It's a great topic.
Eags, do you have a segment?
I do, but let's skip it because we're a little bit low on time.
So that brings us to.
Games of the week.
All right, it's pretty good.
It's not bad, actually.
That's not bad.
You want to do
Did
A?
you compliment yourself?
Yes, I did.
Jesus Christ.
Do you want to do A first or B first?
Hey,
All right, let's go with
alphabetic, baby.
A. Sunday at 9, we have
Jeez, don't give us attention. Give us the game.
DA Finest versus Top Guns.
Vinny, I guess you'll recuse yourself from this conversation.
Top Guns.
I will not choose Top Guns. Montreal's finest. I think that they had the game.
DA
this week
finest.
Whatever. Montreal's finest this week. I've decided I'm not calling them DA's finest
That's
ever. Montreal's finest have found their footing. I expect them to just walk all over Top Guns. Bad game.
I think it's gonna be a closer game than we think. I still think Finest are gonna win, especially if Robbie throws.
Don't waste your time. Don't even show up.
But no, I still think the Finest are gonna win.
Robbie will throw 3 pick sixes.
They beat us by 1 last time, just so we're clear.
Did Robbie
That's
throw?
fine. That's last time. Stop living
Robbie
the past.
did throw, actually.
So maybe he shouldn't.
Tuesday, 8:30, Rainmakers Braves.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna go with Braves in this game, just because I think that they got a little bit of their asses handed to them this week, and they're gonna come out trying to prove everyone wrong.
I got Rainmakers. Castner's going to come back on fire.
Size and speed advantage to Braves. I go Braves.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what the Rainmakers have always had trouble defending.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Monstars, Rare Bears, 9:30.
Is Rob Heshton back?
Oh,
It
tell me. You're the
It
analyst.
doesn't matter. Rare Bears are winning that game, especially if Jamal Giddens is rushing Mashtut. He's not going to have time to make that cross-body rolling one-way throw.
I think you're underestimating Rob Ashtub's athleticism. I'm going to go against Rare Bears. I'm going Monstars, provided that Rob Ashtub is back. And if not, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I mean, they're not losing money on this, so who cares?
All right. Div B time. We have Quan versus Kings.
Quan. Now that everyone's back, the Lannies are upset. They win.
I mean, I don't know why the Lannies are upset, but
They're always upset.
I would never went across
Lions
them.
are always upset. If you have Springer and
Goddamn
Lannies, you know
Italians.
it's going to be angry, man.
Yeah.
STL Coyotes.
Coyotes.
We also call them Coyotes.
STL are going to blow
True men
them
don't kill
out.
Coyotes.
Unless Dylan Taylor throws another 2 picks.
If Dylan first drive he throws a pick, they're gonna lose. But I still think they're gonna win.
I see Dylan throws a pick on his first drive and they lose. Coyotes win.
Ooh, bold. I like that.
It was a progression. I got too much hype. I got hyped in it.
So you're all on STL.
KGP lightweight.
Wow.
Lightweight.
I'm gonna go with Cutler on this one. Let's go, Phil.
If my boy Von Damme is playing, lightweight are tearing them up.
I do like having Van der Dam and Nado Pius on one side. That's a dynamic receiving core. And Simon, when Simon is not Simon, they're good. I think he won't be himself.
Thick fast guys save versus Incredibles.
Blowout.
6 fast guys saving Private Ryan would have been an awesome name, by the way.
Yeah. This is a blowout.
Papic is going to get 2 picks, and 6 fast is still going to win.
This is gonna be a blowout. 6 fast are gonna destroy them.
It's not gonna be pretty.
No.
It's a bad matchup overall.
Is Liam throwing, or is it Greg back? Is Greg back?
I don't care.
No, if Liam's throwing, it's going to be a bit tighter, I think.
I still think no.
OTF, Rich and Famous.
So this is just me. OTF looked god awful this week after looking amazing the week before, but they did have a stacked like Div 1A++ roster. So I think they can't fit that roster into the cap again. And
TF or drop the mic?
oh, I was confusing Drop the Mic. Yeah, my mistake.
Drop
So
the
in
Mic
that
had their
case-
worst team this week than when they played us, thankfully.
Yeah.
No, we're
Well, I'm gonna go in either case. Mariparek has been too.
Mariparek is on the... It's smaller.
Goddamn,
It's smaller, man.
Yeah, come on, let's go, Peeze.
Look, it's smaller. Can you please wear a number? I want to
Yeah,
know what
you're
your
driving me
stats
crazy.
are, for the love of God.
Why do you care so much?
Why don't you just buy him a jersey?
Yeah. Why don't you make another boyfriend out of this?
Because I'll probably get beat up in the parking lot by his friends again.
So after prepping for the wrong game, I will take Rich and Famous.
And in the last game of our docket and of the week, actually, Tuesday, 10:30, Brothard,
Oh, God.
Drop the Mic versus Broccasion.
So Mario Perec, guys, he was great last 2 weeks ago. Struggled this week. I can't trust that level of volatility.
Yeah, he looked weird. He looked off this week.
I actually want to disagree with you. I want to apologize to Mariparek. I thought he looked better and his receivers didn't help him out. But if you get this guy in the red zone, you're going to win. If he's in your red zone,
So
it's
just
over.
play lanes.
No, well, he's gotta-
no
he's gotta
matter
score.
how-
He's
Let
gotta
him
score
get that
from deep.
30 yards, and then anything within 10 yards, he won't score.
Yeah,
But
he
he
has
has
trouble.
that deep ball is beautiful. Just he can't do
gotta
anything
really
with it.
and a nice intermediate he runs a lot of concepts where he has like a post and a 15-yard hook on the outside, and he throws that 15-yard hook perfectly.
Yeah, he's got a good arm.
Yeah, but if
it's
you-
just the red zone. He had
Give
a
him,
lot of,
give him a 2-yard slant in. He's going to throw a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. No one's going to catch it.
Yeah, I think we picked him twice, like on the 1 yard line.
Yeah. Well, mine was tipped right to me. So yes, Broccasion is winning that game.
Final thoughts, gentlemen.
No, I don't have any because I don't like Vinny.
That's your final thought. You don't like Vinny? Vinny, final thoughts?
I think me and Marco are becoming best friends, so that's my final thought. We're going for ice cream after this.
I need,
Maybe after this, you should get a place
Bro,
together.
My neck.
I need
I'm like
friends.
I'm like an old man this year.
And I have no final thoughts. So remember, goodbye.
Bye.
Good day.